Foreign powers attempting to suppress the revolution were closing in on Paris. Yet, even in this critical situation, Louis XVI refused to side with the citizens. Louis, who did not support the revolution, vetoed bills that would have strengthened the wartime regime. This led to a growing suspicion among the people that the king was in cahoots with the foreign powers. Finally, when the people stormed the Tuileries Palace, Louis XVI was captured by them, and the monarchy was abolished. Consequently, an election was held in the Legislative Assembly to appoint a new national government. Led by the more radical Jacobins, the National Convention was formed. At about this time, the French Revolutionary Army was victorious over Prussian and Austrian troops at the Battle of Valmy. Thus, people's enthusiasm for the revolution soared, and it was declared that France would become a republic. Meanwhile, the National Convention sentenced Louis XVI to death. The deposed king thus became a sacrifice, symbolizing the fall of the old regime. This opened the way to the Jacobin leader Robespierre coming to power. Robespierre would pursue his revolutionary ideals to the fullest. The Constitution of 1793, enacted at this time, reflected democratic ideals. It provided that the right to vote be granted to all men, regardless of the property they owned. The biggest achievement was the abolition of feudal land rents without compensation, which freed peasants from the obligation to pay land rent to their lords. It allowed peasants to reclaim their land. The long-standing relationship between the lords and the peasants was finally terminated. While these reforms were being achieved, the reform movement became increasingly radicalized. One by one, Robespierre put those he saw as obstacles to reform to the guillotine. Thus, as Robespierre's dictatorship became more oppressive, popular support gradually turned to animosity. Finally, the coup d'état of 9 Thermidor forced Robespierre from power and led to his execution. The reign of terror had come to an end. Subsequently, the Directory of the First French Republic was established. To prevent a return to dictatorship and the concentration of power, it consisted of 5 directors. It was at this time that the Constitution of 1795 was promulgated. This constitution proclaimed a republic, but again became more conservative. For example, it was stipulated that only wealthy taxpayers would have the right to vote. However, in having several directors at its head, the Directory suffered weak leadership, and decision-making was a time-consuming affair. The Directory failed to respond quickly to domestic and international turmoil, and struggled to gain sufficient public support. Against this backdrop, Napoleon Bonaparte emerged. Napoleon, who was famed for his military prowess, staged a coup d'etat against the Directory and became France's ruler. He then established the consulate, headed by himself. From provincial soldier to emperor, Napoleon became a symbol of the new post-revolutionary era. With Napoleon's crowning, the French Revolution is considered to have come to an end. Thank you.